Imagine for a moment that you are sitting beside a river. The water flows effortlessly, not hurrying, not hesitating. You watch the ripples form and dissolve, the sun flicker in fragments of gold upon the surface. The river does not own its movement. It is its movement. And you, sitting there thinking, I am watching the river, are part of the same current, though you may not yet realize it. You see, most of us spend our lives trying to own something that cannot be owned. Time, experience, the present moment. We clutch at it, try to photograph it, name it, make it ours, as if life were a collection of things to be possessed, catalogued, remembered. But the truth, my dear friend, is far more slippery. You don't own the moment. You are the moment. It's rather like trying to catch your reflection in a still pond. The instant you reach out to grasp it, the water trembles and the reflection disappears. You see, the very act of wanting to possess the experience destroys the experience. We imagine ourselves as separate observers, standing apart from life, watching it unfold like a play upon a stage. We say, I am in this situation. I am having this experience. But the actor and the play are not two. The dancer and the dance are one motion. Yet, since childhood, we've been taught to separate. This is you and this is the world. This is your time, and that is the past or the future. This is your success, your failure. And so we begin the great project of possession to own our moments, our achievements, our very selves. But have you noticed, the tighter you try to hold on to life, the faster it slips through your fingers. You cannot own what you already are. Think of breathing. You do not own a breath. You breathe in, it fills you. You breathe out, it leaves you. Each breath is a tiny death, a letting go, a reminder that life is rhythmic. When you try to hold the breath, what happens? You suffocate. When you cling to joy, to control, to love, you suffocate the living movement of life. And so, the art of living is not the art of possession, but of participation. When you are truly alive, you're not standing back and saying, I am experiencing this. You are the experience. You are not the singer performing a song. You are the song being sung through the singer. This is what people often misunderstand about spirituality. They imagine enlightenment as some distant state, an accomplishment, something they might one day attain. But it's not a goal, it's a recognition. A remembering that what you seek, you already are. When you look deeply, you'll see that there has never been a you separate from this unfolding. There has only been the great event of existence, flowering and fading in endless forms. It's quite a funny trick life plays, making you think you're a passenger on a journey, when in fact you are the road, the wind, and the traveler all at once. And so the paradox begins to reveal itself. You cannot own the moment because the moment owns you. But then again, there is no ownership at all, only isness. Let us wander a little further into this. Have you ever tried to stop your mind and be perfectly in the present? It's absurd, isn't it? The moment you try, you've already stepped out of it. The mind says, be present. And suddenly, you're one step behind, observing yourself trying to be. It's like telling the ocean not to make waves. The trick, you see, is to notice that the waves are already happening without your interference. The present moment is already occurring before your attempt to grasp it. It's spontaneous, free, and entirely indifferent to whether you're paying attention or not. So when you stop striving to own it, when you stop trying to freeze the flowing river, something extraordinary happens. You dissolve into it. And for a brief, shimmering instant, you realize that this is what you've been chasing all along. Not control, not certainty, but the direct experience of being itself. The bird sings, not for applause, but because singing is what a bird is. The flower blooms, not for reward, but because blooming is its nature. And life, this eternal dancing, laughing mystery, moves through you in just the same way. The problem is that we've mistaken awareness for possession. We've mistaken participation for ownership. We think being conscious of a thing means we've somehow captured it, as if awareness were a kind of net. But consciousness is not a trap. It's a window. It's not the hand clutching the water, it's the space through which the water flows. To awaken, then, is to stop trying to own the moment and to realize that you are the very field in which the moment blooms. This is why meditation, at its heart, is not about concentration. It's about surrender. You sit and you watch. The thoughts come, you let them. They go, you let them. You breathe, you let the breath breathe itself. And slowly, without effort, you begin to sense something exquisite. There was never anyone doing the meditating. There was only the movement of life happening through you, as you, with you. You've been the music all along. And when you realize this, when you see that you don't have to be the moment because you are the moment, the fear begins to loosen its grip. Because fear depends on separation. Fear needs a you who might lose something. But when there is no separation, when you see that what comes and goes is you, then what's left to fear? Even death itself becomes a kind of rhythm, an inhalation and exhalation of the cosmos. You don't end, you transform, like a note dissolving into silence, only to reappear as another note in the great symphony. And so the invitation is simple. Stop trying to stand outside your own life. Let it move through you. Be the river, not the rock. The trouble, you see, is that we've been hypnotized by language. Words like I, me, and mine have turned the fluid reality of life into something seemingly solid. But language, wonderful though it is also a spell, and every spell conceals as much as it reveals. When you say my life, it sounds as if life was something you owned, a sort of personal property you could manage, shape, or lose. But tell me, where is this my? Can you find it? Can you point to it? Is it behind your eyes, in your chest, or somewhere between your thoughts? Look closely, and you'll find that this sense of ownership is nothing more than a thought, a flicker, a habit of speech. Life doesn't belong to you. You belong to life. Or, to be more precise, there is no belonging at all. There is only life. You see, it's like the ocean making waves. The ocean doesn't say, these are my waves. The wave doesn't declare, I am separate from the sea. The wave is the sea, expressing itself in a particular form for a moment, then folding back into the whole. And so it is with you. You are not a creature living in time, you are time. You are the unfolding of this eternal now, moment to moment, pulse to pulse, breath to breath. We think of time as a line past, behind, future ahead, but that's a map, not the territory. The real thing, the living time, is like music. It's not a static point. It's a rhythm. And when you try to stop the rhythm, you kill the song. So many people spend their lives trying to arrive somewhere, a final destination of peace, success, or enlightenment, without realizing that there is no arrival. The point of dancing is not to reach the end of the floor. The point of music is not to get to the last note. The point of life is not to reach some ultimate conclusion. It's to play. And play, by its very nature, happens only now. When you play, you don't say, I must make this moment last. You simply play. When you love, you don't say, I must own this person forever. You simply love. But the mind, poor thing, is not content with that. It wants permanence, security, guarantees. It wants to trap the lightning in a bottle and say, this is mine. But the lightning, of course, refuses to be caged. And so you suffer, because what you're truly craving is not the ownership of life, but the intimacy of being life itself. It's like trying to own the sky. You can take a photograph, you can draw it, you can name the clouds, but the real sky, the living blue, cannot be possessed. You can only stand beneath it and be overwhelmed. Now, let's look at this through the lens of the ego. The ego is that little voice inside that says, I am in control. I am the one making things happen. But control, as we practice it, is largely an illusion. The body breathes, the heart beats, the stomach digests, the cells renew, all without your permission. The world spins, the stars explode, the seasons change, all without your management. And yet, here we are, worrying about how to make life work. It's a marvelous cosmic joke. The very power that moves galaxies is moving through your veins, and you think you need to tell it what to do. When you finally see through this, when you let go of the absurd effort to control what's already flowing perfectly, you don't become passive or indifferent. Quite the opposite. You become alive, because now you are not resisting the dance. You are dancing as the dance. Do you remember when you were a child and you spun around until you were dizzy, laughing, arms outstretched? You didn't think, I must control my spinning. You were the spinning. And in that pure moment, you disappeared not into nothingness, but into everything. That's what it means to be the moment. It's not some mystical trance, but the simple recognition that this, right now, is it. There is no later version of you waiting to arrive at life. You've never been outside of it. The notion that you are inside your head, piloting a body through the world, is like thinking the wave is steering the ocean. No, the ocean waves, and you are that waving. This changes the whole flavor of existence. Because when you realize that you are the moment, not its observer, not its owner, not its prisoner, you stop trying to escape it. You stop postponing your life until the conditions are perfect. You begin to see that even your longing, your confusion, your mistakes, they too are part of the great rhythm. The melody needs the dissonance. The tide needs the pull of the moon. And so there's no need to fix yourself. No need to become anything other than what's already happening. You're not behind schedule. You're not late to your own existence. What's left, then, is a kind of laughter, cosmic laughter at the sheer impossibility of trying to hold on to what was never separate from you. When you laugh, truly laugh, you stop being serious about yourself. You dissolve into the sound, into the breath, into the joy. The laughter laughs you. That's what life is doing, laughing you, breathing you, thinking you. You see, there's no real boundary between what you call me and what you call the world. It's all one motion. You are the universe, looking back at itself and saying, so this is what I am. And in that seeing, something loosens. The shoulders drop, the breath deepens, the heart softens. You realize there's nothing to achieve because you've already arrived. There's nothing to own because there's no thing to own. You can finally rest. And when you rest, really rest, life begins to live you in a way that's effortless, graceful, almost playful. You speak without rehearsing. You love without strategy. You act without hesitation because you've stopped pretending to be the one controlling the show. You've remembered your true nature, not the character on the stage, but the play itself, unfolding, unpredictable, alive. And when you see that clearly, you stop asking life for meaning, because meaning was never missing. Meaning is the movement itself, the dance of being, the sound of the world singing itself awake. Now, when we begin to understand that we are not the owners of life, but the expression of it, something profoundly liberating occurs. You stop trying to hold on and you begin to flow. You see, life is a kind of musical improvisation. It is jazz. It has no script, no fixed outcome, no guaranteed melody, and yet, within its apparent chaos, there is harmony. The musicians don't own the music, they become it. The melody plays them as much as they play it. And so it is with us. When you're anxious about the future, you're like a saxophonist trying to control the entire band, insisting everyone follow your tune. But life is a jam session. Each instrument, each moment responds to all the others. To join the music, you must listen, not command. This is why we find peace, not by mastering life, but by joining its rhythm. But the ego resists this. It whispers, if I don't take control, everything will fall apart. Yet look, the sun rises without your approval. Your heart beats while you sleep. The seasons turn, the rain falls, children are born, stars die, all without your management. The miracle is not that you control the world. The miracle is that you are it. Now, that might sound terrifying at first because it seems to dissolve the precious sense of me. The mind asks, if I'm not separate, then who am I? But that's like a wave asking, if I'm not separate from the ocean, what am I? You are the ocean waving. You are the universe shimmering as a person. You are the cosmos looking at itself through your eyes, hearing itself through your ears, thinking itself through your mind. When you truly see this, the division between inner and outer collapses. The trees no longer stand outside of you, they are the lungs of your being. The air no longer surrounds you, it flows through you. The sound of the wind is not happening to you, it is you, vibrating in another form. So when you feel lonely, remember it is life missing its own reflection. When you feel lost, it's the ocean forgetting it's the sea. but you can't be lost any more than a wave can fall off the ocean. Now, this realization that you are the moment doesn't mean that pain disappears or that sorrow evaporates. Life will still sting, the heart will still break, but you'll no longer believe those experiences are happening to a victim. You'll see they are ripples on the same surface, the play of light and shadow, the sorrow and the joy, the birth and the death, the success and the failure. They are all one dance. And once you know this dance, you begin to move differently through the world. You stop clinging. You stop fighting. You begin to listen deeply to the pulse of things, to the spaces between sounds, to the silence that sings beneath all noise. Because that silence, that stillness, is not nothing. It's the source from which everything flows. Most of us are terrified of silence. We fill it with noise, conversation, music, scrolling, distraction, because silence reminds us of our own impermanence. But that's the very beauty of it. Silence is not the absence of life, it is the womb of life. When you stop trying to own the moment, you can finally hear the silence underneath it. And in that silence, you realize that life has never asked for your control, only your attention. You don't need to be someone. You don't need to accomplish the grand story of me. You just need to be here. Now, it sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing for the mind to accept, because the mind lives in time in the promise of later. It's always one step ahead or one regret behind. But being, pure being, has no later. You are not on your way somewhere. You are where you've always been. The now isn't a point on a timeline, it's the dimension in which the timeline appears. And you, dear listener, are that dimension. You are not passing through time, time is passing through you. Can you feel it? The way this moment moves not forward or backward, but outward, like ripples on a pond. Every breath you take radiates into eternity. Every blink of your eye is the whole universe blinking itself awake. Now, some people fear that if they stop trying to control life, everything will collapse. But look closely, the opposite happens. When you surrender to what is, life begins to move with an effortless intelligence. You find yourself saying the right words without planning them. You act without anxiety. You love without condition. You begin to trust the movement because you realize you are the movement. You've never been anything else. So when I say, you don't own the moment, you are the moment, I'm not offering an idea. I'm describing reality. Ownership implies separation, but there's no distance between the wave and the water, no border between your being and the now. And if that frightens you, good, because that fear is simply the echo of the old illusion dissolving, the illusion that you were ever separate. You see, enlightenment is not about becoming divine or perfect. It's about realizing you've never been anything but divine. You can't improve the moment because the moment includes everything, even your desire to improve it. It's whole, complete, already so. And you, too, are whole. But the ego thrives on incompleteness. It says, I must become something. Yet the instant you try to become, you affirm that you are not already that. You chase what's already running through your veins. So I ask you, can you allow yourself to stop, just for an instant, not to freeze, but to fall? Fall into this breath, into this sound, into this feeling of being alive right now. What happens when you do? Something astonishing. The world stops being out there. You stop trying to live, and life begins living you. The rain falls, and you are the rain. The city hums, and you are the hum. The stars burn, and you are their fire. In that seeing, all boundaries dissolve. The self melts into the totality. And what remains is peace, not the peace of stillness, but the peace of participation. The peace of being the river, flowing endlessly, never needing to arrive. You see, you were never supposed to master life. You were supposed to merge with it. You were never meant to own the moment. You were meant to remember you are it. And when that remembering happens not as a thought, but as a direct experience, life suddenly becomes effortless. Because now, there's no one left to struggle. There's only the dance, the breathing, the being. Close your eyes for a moment, not to escape the world, but to listen more deeply to it. Listen to the hum behind the silence, the pulse beneath your heartbeat, the quiet rhythm of your breath moving in and out. Notice how, without any effort, The body breathes itself. You don't command it. You don't own it. It's simply happening, a movement of life through the form you call you. That's the essence of it all. Life is happening through trees and tides, through laughter and tears, through you and me and everyone you've ever known. And the moment you stop trying to possess this happening, you finally participate in it. This is what we mean by awakening, not some grand cosmic enlightenment, but the humble realization that you were never separate from the very thing you were seeking. Because to try to own the moment is to stand apart from it. But to be the moment is to vanish into its grace, to disappear as a separate self and reappear as the whole of existence. When you eat, the universe eats. When you breathe, the forest breathes. When you cry, the rain falls with you. There's no edge between you and it. There never was. There's only the great shimmering play of being. But notice how the mind rebels against this simplicity. It wants to define, categorize, measure. It says, yes, but what should I do with this insight? It wants a plan, a technique, a method. But there is nothing to do because you cannot make yourself what you already are. It's like a fish trying to learn how to swim. The fish doesn't need instructions. It only needs to stop pretending it's lost. And so it is with us. You have never left the ocean of this moment. Even in your confusion, even in your striving, you were already home. But you see, we live in a culture that worships becoming. Everything is about progress, improvement, mastery. We've forgotten how to simply be. We're so addicted to control that stillness feels like death. But true stillness is not the absence of motion. It's the absence of resistance. It's when you stop struggling against the current and allow it to carry you, not towards some goal, but into the fullness of now. And when that surrender happens, you don't become a passive observer. You become intimately involved in life because you are no longer divided from it. A musician does not own the note. They are the note, resonating for a brief instant before dissolving into silence. The beauty of the song lies precisely in its impermanence. The same is true for you. You bloom, you fade, you change shape, you dissolve, and that's what makes you beautiful. Imagine if a flower refused to wilt because it was too attached to being in bloom. Its beauty would become grotesque, its life arrested. But because it dies, it lives completely. To live completely is to accept death as part of life, not as an enemy, but as rhythm. You see, the moment you realize you are the moment, you also realize you are every moment. Birth, death, rising, falling, joy, sorrow. You can't have one without the other, just as a melody cannot exist without silence between the notes. So when you lose something or someone, do not cling to the illusion of permanence. Instead, look closer. The form may vanish, but the essence remains. The same life that moved in them still moves in you. The same breath that leaves you returns as wind, rain, grass. You have never possessed a single thing, and that is the secret of freedom. Because to possess is to separate, and to separate is to fear. But to realize you are the happening, that nothing is outside of you, is to be free of fear entirely. This is why love, real love, feels like dying. Because in love, the boundaries of me dissolve. You stop owning, you stop protecting. You simply become the space in which another being exists, and that space is vast, tender, infinite. Love is the universe remembering itself in two faces, whispering, so that's what I look like from here. And so, if you want to live fully, love without holding back, love even your fear, your confusion, your mistakes, for they too are ripples of the moment. When you can see even your suffering as part of the same dance, the suffering transforms. It becomes texture, depth, color. There is nothing outside the sacred. Even your longing for peace is peace calling you home. Even your resistance is life exploring its own boundaries. Even your sense of I is the universe pretending to be small for the joy of rediscovering its vastness. So let go, not in the sense of throwing things away, but in the sense of releasing your grip. You can hold life only by not holding it. When you stop clenching, the hand becomes open, and an open hand can receive everything. Try this for a moment. Breathe in. Don't think of the breath as yours, just let it come. Now breathe out. Don't push it away. Let it leave. This is the entire teaching. Inhale, the world enters you. Exhale, you enter the world. There is no boundary, only breathing, only being. So if you find yourself anxious, uncertain, afraid, return to this. You don't own the moment, you are the moment. The waves crash, the wind blows, the stars burn, and you are that. This isn't philosophy, it's direct experience. Look around. The light that falls on your hands is the same light that once illuminated the dinosaurs, that burns still in distant galaxies. It has never belonged to anyone. It simply is. And that's the true wonder, that you, too, are not something life is happening to, but life itself, happening as you. When this is seen, truly seen, you no longer fight against change. You no longer chase permanence. You simply dance. Sometimes slowly, sometimes wildly, sometimes in silence. And every step, even the stumble, is part of the choreography. That's what awakening really is, remembering that you've been dancing all along. The music never stopped. You only forgot that you were the rhythm. So let life move through you as it will. Laugh when laughter arises. Cry when tears come. Breathe when breathing happens. Die when dying comes. You are the wind through the trees, the crackle of fire, the stillness of midnight, the dawn breaking again and again. And when you know that, not as a belief, but as a direct experience, you will find that there is no need for certainty, because you are the unfolding mystery itself. You will stop asking, what is the meaning of life? And instead whisper, ah, I am life. You will stop trying to hold time and realize that you are time. You will stop fearing death and realize you never began. So rest now, not in control, but in wonder. Not in possession, but in participation. Not as an observer of the moment, but as the moment itself, pulsing, breathing, shining, because there is no you apart from it. There never was. There is only this breath, this sound, this endless, radiant now,